All right. Well, I will get us started. Hello,
Okay.
everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We're excited because we have German Ochoa from Youth Services here. I'm really excited for our conversation, Guiding Good Choices, and He'll tell you all about the classes that he offers, which I'm also interested in. But I'm going to read a little bio before we get started, and I'm going to record. Yes, it's recording. So, German Ochoa has been working with teens and families for many years, starting as a domestic violence facilitator in the state of California, and then working directly with teens and young adults in foster care for over 10 years. German currently works at Youth Services in the Prevention Department, where he conducts weekly groups with teens and parents. His passion is to teach caregivers strategies for promoting healthy behaviors in children. So thanks so much for joining us, German, and I will be monitoring the chat and stay on here. So take it away from here.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for having me, though. I'm very excited to teach uh, the strategies that we teach in guiding good choices. Today, as you mentioned, I work for the Division of Youth Services. I primarily teach guiding good choices, which is a parenting program. It's 5 weeks. It focuses on the prevention of alcohol, tobacco, drugs, and among other negative behaviors in our kids. But not only that, guiding good choices focus also on anger management, how the kids can refuse negative behaviors, among other things. And it is an amazing program. I have used many of those strategies with my own family, so I do know they work. So now, I was mentioning to Megan, though my baby is 18 now, but I still use some of those strategies for guiding good choices. So when I got the invitation, I was thinking like, well, what can I do? What can I present? What can I bring that does not only apply for those of you guys who maybe have kids who maybe are struggling with alcohol, tobacco, anything like that, but something that is going to be more general, something that is going to apply to all of us as parents. For those who have little ones, like Megan was mentioning, your baby is 9. My baby is 18 now, so I have only young adults in my house. But what can I bring over so everybody can benefit from this workshop? Not just little ones, but I thought something that it can benefit for those who have preteens, teens, and in my case, even young adults. So something that it can all of us can benefit, something we can grab something from guiding good choices. If you ever have a chance to be part of a program, and hopefully when we're done, you guys will be more interested in guiding good choices. We teach guiding good choices all over the county, online, schools, rec centers, libraries, all over the place. And obviously the programs are free. Uh, so what I was thinking is what I'm going to be presenting today is just a little fraction, a little portion of guiding good choices. One of the classes, again, it's just a little tiny portion. So I'm going to dip some of just a few steps or a few skills that we normally teach. But this one, again, I do believe is going to apply to you, regardless if you have little ones, pre-teenagers, teenagers, even again, in my case, young adults. I think we can all benefit from this. And what we're going to be doing today is, let me share my screen. Okay. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to go over what is called the GMC. It's not going to be General Motor Company, okay, guys? It abbreviates for Guidelines, Supervision, and Consequences, Effective Family Management. Personally, I personally call this the ABC of a family management. I know it says GMC. I personally call it the ABC. We're going to be going over some basic steps to when it comes to family structure, how to work with our kids, okay, how to communicate with our kids. One of the questions normally when I ask parents is, uh, tell me the reason why you're here. And a lot of them will say, well, I would like to have a better communication with my kids. And I always say, well, how much time do you spend with them? I think that is very important that we recognize that sometimes parents we do not spend as much time as before with our kids. So if you want to have a better communication, make sure that you spend time with your kids. I personally believe that we spend time with the people and the things that we love. I love my family. So every time, every time I can, we normally have barbecues in my house. I love to have the family eating together, going out on vacation. And one of the things, one of my passions is running. Running. I do ride my bike as well quite often. So I always trying to get shoes for that, reading, finding things to improve me as a runner or as a bike rider, because I love to spend time outside and I love to spend time with my family. So one tip for parents is if you want to have a better communication with your kids, regardless of the age, spend time with them. Okay, try to spend time with them face to face. So what we're going to be doing today is, again, we're going to go over how to establish a guideline. How do I establish a new rule, a new limit, a new expectation at home? Kids will need expectations, kids will need rules, okay? And they'll change, okay? There are some rules, maybe they will be different if you have a little guy, if you have a 5 or 6 year old. One of the rules that we had at home, or one of the expectation was, if someone comes and knocks on the door, you do not open the door. The adults, the grown-ups will come and open the door, okay? Now, again, my baby is 18, okay? That rule does not apply to him. Okay, he does have different rules. He does have different expectations. Okay, so, but again, every kiddo, regardless of the age, okay, it does need those limits, those boundaries, those expectations. Okay, and they'll change. Obviously, as they grow, they'll change, but they will need that. Okay, that is an effective family management. How to have a structure is very important. The kids know their structure in the home. We're going to go over supervision today as well. Why is it important for us to supervise our kids, to monitor our kids? What are they doing? Who are they spending time with them? Okay. And finally, we're going to go over consequences. Okay, we're going to, normally when we hear the word consequences, we focus on the negative. Oh, that happened to you because you did not do your homework. You did. But there are also positive consequences, and we don't focus on that. But today we're going to focus on the positive consequences. Why is it important that we also focus not only on the negative, but in the positive as well? Okay, so we're going to go over positive consequences. And obviously, when things do not go the way we want it, okay, we have to, kids need to know there are consequences for their behavior. It's not that you don't love them. It's not that you're a bad mom or you're a bad dad. No, it's just the nature of the beast. Am I right? It's just how things are. They need to learn there are consequences for their actions. Finally, we're gonna go over a couple examples. So I might give you a couple personal examples how I'm being able to implement the GMC, guidelines, supervision, and consequences with my own kiddos. And maybe together at the end we can do a exercise together. And if you have any questions, okay, feel free to answer. Feel free to type in the chat, and we can go from there. Okay, at the end, I will give you some time for uh, questions and answers. Okay, ready, guys? I encourage you guys to take a piece of paper. I'm assuming you're having lunch. If you're having lunch, if you're at home, whatever you are, if you can just chillax for a minute, okay? Excuse my voice because I've been sick for a few days, so I have my tea, but I'm ready to go. Number one, guidelines. And again, okay, guidelines, okay? Every kiddo needs guidelines. Every kiddo needs boundaries. What are boundaries? Boundaries keep us safe. I know they don't like them. No one does, but they do need that, okay? And one of the examples that I do with my parents is when I went to Bryce Canyon this year. In Bryce Canyon, obviously, there are some rails, okay? So some rails, some boundaries, okay? They prevent us to fall into the canyon, okay? And that keep us safe, okay? That's kind of the example that I like to use, parents, okay? When we have boundaries, okay, they keep us safe. It's not that we want to be bad parents, but that will keep us safe. That keeps our kiddos safe. Another example, maybe in your neighborhood, I'm sure in your neighborhood, you cannot drive 65, 70 miles an hour. Otherwise, it will be fatal. Am I right? Because it's not created. The street is not created for that. There are boundaries. Your speed limit, at least in my neighborhood, is only 25 miles an hour. Okay. The same thing. Okay. On the freeway, yeah, you can go 70 miles an hour. It's not a problem. The freeway has been made for that type of speed. Okay. But not our neighborhoods. Okay. So there are boundaries, there are limits. Okay. So kids needs to understand, we need to talk to them, then we establish a limit. It's to keep them safe. They might not like it, but that is the reality. We want to keep them safe, and it's our job to keep them safe. It is our job. I personally feel like that's my duty as a father, to keep my kids safe. Okay, to make sure to prevent for them to fall, to get into dangers. Okay, but saying that, how do I establish a new rule, a new guideline, a new expectation? And what I have classes with parents, normally what I like to do is, as parents, what guideline would you like to establish? Okay, what rule would you like to establish with your kids? And when it comes to setting limits or guidelines, expectations, norms, rules, they're all the same. They all mean the same. Okay, now kids do not like the word rule. Come on, mom, another rule. This is going to be the rule. But maybe we can use expectations. We can tell maybe, Johnny, tell me, this is going to be the new expectation. Okay, from now on, I need you to go to bed at 9 p.m. or at 10 p.m. Okay. This is going to be the new expectation. This is what I do expect from you. This is what I do not expect from you. Okay. Now, how do I do that? And again, they do change. Okay. They do change as they grow older. Also, kids are different, obviously. I do have three boys, and my little guy has been he's very, very, very mature for his age, actually, way more than his brothers. And he's the youngest one. So has always been very, very disciplined with his finances. He has always been very disciplined when it comes academically. So with the other ones, they were okay, but they needed a little help. They needed more supervision. Okay. But again, kids are different. Okay. Keep that in mind, but they're always going to need that. They're always going to be the structure. They're always going to need that that structure, the guidelines, the rules, the expectations. Okay, how do I do that? How do I establish that regardless of the age? And when I'll give you a few examples down the road. Number one, be clear and specific. Every single time you're about to establish again a new rule, a new guideline, a new expectation, a new norm, there are a couple there are a couple things they need to be together, and that is, you have to be clear and you have to be specific. I don't know if that happens with you, but if you leave something gray in between, kids will grab that and say, Dad, you never said that, remember? Okay, or you never told me that in a specific, that you said maybe. So they'll grab that. So what I personally do with my own boys is I always try to be as much clear and specific with them. And I would like to give you a couple examples. It sounds easy, am I right? And that is the first step, okay? Be clear and specific. And I'll give you a couple examples, okay? And be ready, because I would like to have your answers. I'm not going to be able to see your answers, but Megan is going to help me with those when you chat, okay? I'll give you an example. If your little guy or one of your kiddos says, Mom, Dad, is that okay if I play video games? And you say, yeah, there's no problem with that. You can play a little bit games. You can play for a little bit. Now, can I ask you, think about your own kiddos, okay? Um, what's a little bit for you and what is a little bit for him, for them? There's two a little bit way, way different, am I right? Let's just say Megan, let's say Juliana. It's like Juliana says, yeah, you can play for a little bit. And goes shopping, goes to the market. Uh, 2, 3, 4 hours later, she's back, and the little guy is still playing video games. And you get upset. I told you just a little bit. And again, what's a little bit for a little one, for a kid, it's way different than a little bit. Am I right? But if you say, Johnny, yeah, you can play video games. Okay, you have 2 hours. Okay, it is 12 noon. By 2 p.m., I need you to turn it off. You turn off the video game, and I need you to start doing your homework. That is being clear, and that is being specific. Okay, so make sure that whenever you're going to start a new guideline, a new rule, a new expectation, this is the expectation. Okay, make sure that you are clear and specific. You guys want another example? How about bedtime? Okay. How do you send your kids to bedtime? Okay. Can I give you well, let's do this together. Okay. And all I need you to type, it's a number. Okay. If you guys were my kiddos, and it's up to you, but I'm going to tell you this. Can you guys go to tomorrow is Wednesday. Okay. School day. So I need you guys to go to bed early. when would you go to bed? Can you guys type? Give me a number. Just give me a number. Okay. Megan, can you tell me when would you go to bed? If it's up to you. Okay. 9,
9. Yeah. Oh, you got
9. Oh,
me at
wow. You guys
9.
are,
Yeah.
oh,
Everybody
Rosario.
9. Oh, we
Rosario
have
said 11
11.
p.m. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Marsha, 10, 9. Mary said, Mary, 11. Okay. Great. And I'm looking for those kiddos. Okay. The ones who are rebels. Okay. Now, think about this. All of you guys are my kiddos. And I said, all of you guys heard me saying, I need you guys to go to bed early because tomorrow is a school day. Okay. Have you noticed? 9, 10, 11. Okay. Probably someone else will say, hey, until I fall asleep. I don't know, midnight. I don't know. Okay. And that is that being specific and clear? Probably not. How about if I say this? Hey guys, tomorrow is bedtime. Tomorrow is school day. Therefore, I need you guys to be in bed by 9 p.m. Okay. Is that being clear? Yes. Is that being specific? Yes. Okay. I did use for many, many years that with my little guys, and they knew during school days, bedtime, it was 9 p.m. Oh, witness says 8:30. Wow, she's a very good one. She's like 8:30, early birdie, okay? Um, but me, on the other hand, if that option was given to me, I'm not gonna go to bed not until probably 11 p.m. at least. Okay, especially my mom is not gonna watch over me. I'll go to 11. Okay. But when we are clear and specific with my kiddos, I'll be like, hey guys, tomorrow's a school day. I need you guys to be in bed by 9 p.m. Okay. So 10 minutes, 15 minutes before 9 p.m. Okay, we're shutting everything down. Start brushing your teeth, getting your PGs. Can we go a few minutes over? Yeah, of course. Okay. I always say, we have a home, a family, not a military base. So can we be flexible with our kiddos? Absolutely. Okay. But one thing is we need to be clear and we need to be specific. Flexibility can be the exception of the rule, not the rule. But we're gonna get into that in a second. Okay. So again, when you are setting a guideline, a expectation, just make sure that you are clear and specific. Johnny, this is what I expect from you. Okay, that you get up every morning early, ready to go to bed, ready to go to school. I'm sorry. Okay, I do expect from you good grades. I do want you to have good grades. Okay, one of the things that we teach our parents in guiding good choices when it comes to uh, alcohol and drugs, it's to parents to be clear and specific, okay, and make sure they speak to their kids. Do not assume. Sometimes our parents will assume like, well, he knows he's not supposed to be doing that. Really? Did you ever mention that to him? Did you ever were you ever clear and say, Anthony, we are family, this is what we believe, and I know maybe the Johnsons or the other families, they do provide alcohol, they're okay when their kids drink, but that's not going to happen in our family. I want you to know that we are not going to provide you any alcohol, that you are not drinking is not allowed for you in this home. Okay. And we will be watching, we will be supervising. We're going to get into that, and there will be consequences if you do. Okay. So be clear and specific. Whatever rule that you're going to establish, maybe your son is going to be driving for the first time. The rules change, expectations, okay, they do change. And again, if you have a little one, maybe I remember one of the expectations that we had at home a few years ago when we built our home. It was carpet and just the dining area. We have floor, and I remember the rule was we do not drink, we do not eat where there's carpet. So that applied for the entire house with the exception of the dining room. Okay, so they knew it's like that is the expectation. And I do remember one of the boys once caught me like, Dad, you have a glass of water. Remember, you're not allowed to drink and you know where is carpet. And I go, yeah, you're right, guys. Okay, but that is being clear and being specific. And one of the things again that sometimes we fail is to be clear and be specific. Think about your own kiddos. Think about the rules and the expectations. Again, maybe getting up in the morning. They need to know the time when they're gonna get up, with the time when they're gonna go to bed. If you have one of your teenagers that's gonna be driving for the very first time, I do believe we need to set up some expectations, some rules. Okay. And when we do that, keep in mind those elements, they need to be together. And that is be clear and being specific. Okay. Before I move to the next one, do we have any questions so far, Megan? Nope. Okay.
No
Excellent. We
question.
move on.
Okay.
Now, number two. Here we go, guys. Ready? Supervision. Whose job is to supervise our little ones? There's not much to think about it, guys. It's our responsibility. Okay. You're like, I know, we know that. Yeah, we do know. Okay. It is our job to supervise our kiddos. Okay. Now, why? Why is it important that we monitor, that we supervise our kiddos? Anyone? Okay. Okay. No one else is going to do it. I like that. Thank you, Whitney. And I totally agree with you. Okay. Uh, yeah, to know what's going on helps them exactly to maintaining the correct weight. Okay. Yeah. It, I like the very first one because stay connected with them. I like that too. Okay. Excellent. Yeah, it is our job. But yeah, and I totally agree with them. I think it was Whitney. He says, it is our job. No one else is going to do it. Yeah, no one else is going to do it. I always say, hey, who wants to supervise my kids for free today? No one is raising their hands. Okay. It is our job. It is hard. It takes time. I get that. But you know what? It is our job. And we only have it for a short period of time. Not having young adults, I can see now they're all flying. I was mentioning to Megan that we are a military family. I have a kiddo in Hawaii, another one probably heading to Europe in the military, and my little guy is heading to New Zealand very soon. So we're gonna be empty, okay? So we're gonna miss them, but that is just the nature of the beast, okay? But again, it is our job to supervise our kids. We connect with them. We spend time with them. It is our job, our duty, etc., etc. And also, when we supervise our kids, we are able to enforce the expectations, the rules, the norms that you had already established with them prior. Let's just say that one of the rules of the house is I'll give you an example. My baby David, he drives obviously now. He has his car. And I remember one of the rules that we established when he got his driver's license. I had a conversation with him. Okay, David, have a seat, and I remember the rules, the expectations, the norms within the family, they do change. Okay, every family is different. Okay, when kids are different. And one of the rules was, David, I do know you have your driver's license. I do know you have a car. However, you need to let me know where you're going. If you are going to go somewhere else from school or from work, send me a text. That's it, buddy. Okay. You don't have to give me a call. Maybe a call if it's something that you're going to be gone for a few hours, but I need to know where you are. Why? It is my job. It is my responsibility as your father. And I take that, dearly. Okay. I am your dad. I am responsible for you. If something happens to you, cops, the first person they're going to call, or you're going to be calling, is daddy. So make sure that I know where you are. Okay. And that was one of the expectations that we have, even though he had his own car, driver's license. I go, it doesn't mean that you can just come in and out just without reporting to the family. You can call me or you can text me. You can send me a smoke signals. You can call, you can text mom. We just need to know where you are. And the reason why that we need to know where you are is, number one, because it's our job to know, and because we love you. Okay, we care about you and we love you. So that it's number one. Okay, number one is make sure that you are, when you're going to establish a rule or a guideline, make sure you are clear and specific. Number two, it comes with supervision, because you can have 100 different rules at home. Okay, but if you don't supervise your kids, so you're not going to be able to enforce them. The reason why we supervise, we monitor our kids is to, in this case, to enforce the rules, the guidelines, the expectations, the norms that we had established with them. I sat down with David. Okay, that, and going back to the rules, I remember David telling me, hey, Dad, can I go out? Can I go out tonight? I'm gonna go out with my friends. Okay. I go, sure. I never said to him, make sure you're back home early. Because that is not clear. That is not specific. What I will say, what I used to say to him is like, when are you coming back home? And David, my little guy, would be like, well, I don't know, Dad. They're gonna take Amy first, and then they're gonna take Johnny, drop him off, and then I don't know, they'll drop me off later. I'm like, no. If you do not know the time when you're gonna be home, that means I'm going to establish the time when you're gonna be back home. No, Dad, let me talk to them. Okay, let's make sure. Hey, Dad, is that okay if we're back by midnight? We're going to a concert. We're going to in and out after that. And can I be back home by midnight? Yes, sir. You may be back by midnight. However, if you're not back by midnight, I do expect a phone call, or I mean a text, something to let me know that I'm okay. I just got stuck on traffic. Dad, we're eating. We're fine. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. Okay. So again, supervision. Now think about this. Okay. Let's just say I told David, I was clear and specific. David, I need you to be back by midnight. But I go to bed. Okay. And I don't check. I use technology a lot, so I use my cameras, okay, and I use obviously I do have his location, so I used to see where he was, okay, and I'm like, okay, um, but I never checked it. I don't know if David came at midnight, 1 a.m., 2 in the morning. It's like my dad doesn't know. My dad doesn't really check. He just says that, so I'll be back. I'll get home when I get home. Okay, no. Okay, I will always make sure that David was on time. Okay, I will check, make sure that he came on time. Because again, when I supervise, when I monitor my kid, I can enforce the expectation. You can have a bunch of different rules at home, many. Okay, but if you don't supervise them, when you have your little ones, okay, now those of you guys who have little guys, make sure you brush your teeth. We got to check, make sure they brush your teeth. One of the things that I used to do with my boys, they use the bathroom. Common sense. Wash your hands, okay, after using the bathroom. And they'll be like, yes, Dad, I'm done. I will just wash my hands already, okay? So I'll be like, okay, touch my hand. Obviously, if their hands were cold, that means they did wash their hands. If it wasn't and dry, I'm like, no, you did not. Go back. That is supervision. And again, the reason why we supervise our kids is our job, okay, is our duty. No one else is going to take that. And it's because we can enforce the expectations, the rules that we have. I've been in many different countries in Latin America, and I drove in many countries in Latin America. And for those of you guys, I don't know how many of you guys been in Latin America, but the traffic laws or the traffic is crazy over there normally. Okay, and can I ask you this? Do you think that in Latin America, okay, do they have rules, traffic rules? Yeah, they do. Okay, so why is it so crazy? Well, sometimes because, the police does not enforce those rules. Okay. And if there's no enforcement, equals chaos. Okay. It's craziness. So make sure that when you're going to establish that rule, a guideline, an expectation with your kids, if it's a young one, teenager, pre-teenager, okay, make sure that you are very clear and very specific. This is what I need you to do. This is what I don't need you to do. This is what I want from you. This is what I don't want from you. This is why you are allowed to do. This is what you're not allowed to do. And that goes again with supervision. Once when we supervise our kids, we're able to enforce the expectations that we have already established. And again, if you have 100 different rules, but if you do not supervise your kids, it's not going to be okay. One of my kids, when they were little, he was very petite, very small, and he had not the tradition, but he would love to just get out of the room after bedtime and just fall asleep somewhere else. One time we found him sleeping just outside of our door. Uh, Another time he was literally inside of the closet. So I knew that this guy, okay, almost every night he'll get, for whatever reason, he'll just get out of his room and just start wandering. So I will look for him, after, I don't know, an hour or whatever, and I'll just look for him, grab him, put it back to his room, okay, put it back in his bed, okay. So again, supervision. It is our job to supervise our kids, and I know these are very basic examples, but I just want you guys to get and again, what it's called, effective family management, personally structure, I believe it, okay, the ABC. Any questions so far? Or should we move to the third point?
No
All right.
questions. Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Now, that's number three. Okay. Establish consequences. Okay. Consequences. Okay. Positive consequences when they follow the expectations. Okay. Support, acknowledgement, and sometimes even celebration. Why is it important to celebrate? Or it's not that we're going to throw a party. Okay. Uh, but why is it important to acknowledge when they're doing something good? Let me ask you this. We as an adults, we as an employees, okay, I don't know about you guys, but it does make me feel good. Reinforcement. Thank you, Jennifer. It says positive reinforcement. Absolutely. We all know that. Am I right? Positive reinforcement. Megan. Uh, Megan says, water the flowers. Okay. Yeah. So
It,
positive, uh,
basically, the idea of water the flowers is to to continue to do that positive reinforcement on the positive behavior so that it's like you're watering the flowers that they they
oh, and the
continue
girl.
to bloom. Yes, yes. A metaphor. Yeah.
I like that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I'm
Thank you
not
for
telling you to
clarifying
just
that,
go water
Megan.
your flowers. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you for so why is that important? Okay. Again, we as an employees, okay. I don't know about you guys, but it makes me feel so good when we get a note. Uh I have a couple thank you notes from my supervisor from gosh, 10 years ago. Actually, I'm sorry, it was 8 years ago when I changed departments. He took the whole team out for lunch. We all went out. It was my last day in that specific department. And he's like, "Hey, I just want you to know that thank you. I do appreciate for all these years. Thank you so much for everything you did." And he gave me a note. Now, if you ask me, I don't remember exactly who was there. I don't remember what I ate, but I do remember the note. Okay, I do remember, and I kept it. I still have it on my desk. Okay, the note. Okay, because I can see that it was very sincere. Okay, so I do remember that, and that is again positive consequences. We sometimes we celebrate, we acknowledge that, so it makes me feel good. The reason why we celebrate, the reason why we acknowledge when our kids are doing something well, so they can repeat the good behavior. If your kiddo it's doing his homework on a daily basis, or is cleaning his room, doesn't hurt to say, "Hey man, thank you for doing that." Okay, appreciate it, man. Shows you're mature. It shows that I can trust in you. Thank you for doing that. Your room looks amazing. It took me what 3 4 seconds, okay? But it's very important. Sometimes we parents we focus on the negative only and not on the positive because that's what you're supposed to do. You don't do anything else. You don't work. You just go to school. You're supposed to give us good grades, okay? No, acknowledge that. Okay, acknowledge. Make sure you support them. Uh, I always went to my kiddos' teacher conferences. Okay, even though they say, "Dad, you don't have to go. It's gonna be okay. I'm doing fine." I'm like, no, I want the teacher to know that this little guy has a dad. Number one, okay, that you're not gonna be one more of the numbers. You're David or you're Sam, Johnny, whatever your name is. Okay, has a father. Okay, and I'm that. Okay, and I'm gonna introduce myself, and I'm gonna be there. And every single time, I do remember when my kids will get a certificate. And think about this, okay? The certificate is just a piece of paper. Okay. Perfect attendance. Yeah, perfect attendance, Gosh, for them, it's a lot of work for them. Okay. That is very important. I do remember as much as I could, I was present for my kids every time they got a certificate, every time they got a medal. Okay. And I do have pictures. And one of the things that I used to do with my boys, I will buy 2 donuts. Okay. And after the presentation, they were allowed obviously to come and hug the parents. Okay, and I'll always give them 2 donuts. Okay, one it was for him, and the other one for his best friend, whoever he chose. Okay, so that way I remember my kids every time they saw me sitting, waiting for them to do whatever Christmas presentation, whatever it was. Okay, so like that's my dad. That's my dad. He brought me a donut. He was excited. I don't know if it was more excited for the donut or for me, but I was there. Okay, it was a combo, the donut and me. Okay, so but make sure that you support your kiddos. Okay, make sure you acknowledge them. Okay, when they get a good grade, man, I'm so proud of you. I know you can. I knew it. I have no doubt. Okay, and sometimes even celebrate. Uh, one of my kids used to play soccer, the only one who played soccer when he was little. It's like, Dad, if I make one goal, will you take me to Chick-fil-A? I go, done. Even though if we lose, well, I'll take you to Chick-fil-A. Okay, we'll go to Chick-fil-A. Okay, Dad. So I can see him, working it. Somebody wrote positive reinforcement. Absolutely, positive reinforcement. We all love positive reinforcement. I don't know about you guys, but I love that. Okay. Thank you notes. In our department, we have something that is called thank you notes. Okay. I love to getting those. Okay. Positive reinforcement. Okay. Our paycheck. Okay. It's a way to acknowledge it's a positive consequences of our hard work. Okay. So make sure, okay, that we don't only focus on the negative, because sometimes that's what we are. We do that. We focus on the negative consequences more than the positive consequences, because it's just like, well, he's supposed to be doing that. Well, that is his only job, to clean his room. Okay. Maybe you can say, hey man, thank you for cleaning your room. Okay. I know you didn't yesterday, but today, thank you. I learned I use services from a great therapist saying, make sure you always tell your kids, thank you and please. And I add this to my boys as thank you and please always opens many doors and many hearts in life. Okay. And that is something that I still practice even with my young adults kids. Okay. Hey man, thank you for helping me with whatever. It's like, oh come on, Dad, it's no big deal. No, I know it's not a big deal, but just want you to know that I'm grateful for that. Okay. Because otherwise it would be me doing that. Okay, Dad, no big deal. Kids will be like, no big deal, Dad. But I know inside, they're like, yes, my dad noticed that. I noticed that you did well at school. I noticed you clean up your room. I noticed you help mom with dishes. Okay. I noticed you help me with whatever. Okay. So to make sure you acknowledge your kids, make sure we as a parents, we also learn to say thank you and please. Okay. Negative consequences. Again, here we go. Negative consequences. Sometimes things don't go right, even though we had already established a rule. We are supervising, but things don't go well. Okay, kids are kids. Okay, so what do we do? Okay, make sure that you have consequences. I do not have a book full of consequences, but my kiddos knew if they did something, daddy was going to talk to them. Okay, I was going to speak to them. Uh, so when it comes to negative consequences, make sure they are consistent, appropriate, and moderate. Now, if I'm going to focus today in one word, and this is be consistent. Can anybody tell me what's the first thing that comes to your mind when I say the word consistent? Every time. Thank you, Sherry. Every time. Okay. Uh, yeah, the you will do it exactly. Okay. Steady. Perfect. Okay. Uh huh. Steady. Expect responses. Okay. Excellent. Thank you. Okay. We need to be consistent. Okay. Why are we going on this to be consistent? What we're talking about? Because sometimes we as a parents, we fail a lot on that. Okay. Think about this, and I seen this even in my parenting classes. This is very common. Parent, I can see when I go over this, you can see them giggling or just talking to each other. You say, "I'm totally not doing that. It's you, not me," and they go back and forward. But be consistent, okay? Sometimes we tell our kiddos, "Okay, you're grounded. I'm taking your cell phone away for a week." Using just a cell phone because it's the common thing, okay? As an example, but it could be anything. I'm taking the cell phone away from you for a week. And this is sometimes what happens. The kiddo will be telling the parents, "Come on, mom, please, please, I'm gonna behave. I'm gonna listen. I promise, I cross my heart, I will do it." And the parents will be like, "Okay, here it is, but don't do it again." So my question to you is, who is training who at that point? Okay, who is training who? Okay, sometimes it'll be the other way around. Mom, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, and give it to me, give it to me. Or it can be like, he is so nice. He's doing everything so well. He's being so respectful. He's doing everything. I'm going to give the cell phone back to him. My friends, that is not being consistent. Okay. Make sure that you are consistent. Okay. Otherwise, you are taking value of your word. Okay. Mom always says that. Have you guys heard that? She always says that. She's not going to do it. And make sure do you guys, okay, when you are going to establish the consequences, when you're going to any type of consequence, okay, do you stick to it? Can we be flexible? Absolutely. Again, we live in a home. We are creating a family. We have a family, not a military base. Can we be flexible with our kiddos? Yes. But I do believe that is the exception of the rule, not the rule. Instead of like, oh, my dad is never going to give it to me. Like, hey, man, listen, I notice you're doing well. This is just the exception of the rule. Here's your cell phone. Oh, yes, you're allowed to go to the park. You're allowed to go to the party with your friends, whatever. Okay. But this is the exception of the rule. Next time, it's not going to happen. Okay. We can be flexible with our kiddos. Yes. Okay. But they need to know for their behavior, they choose. And that's what I have the picture of the rules. They get to choose. I used to tell my boys, you get to choose where you want to go. You get to choose your consequences. Okay. We already spoke about this, and you know there will be consequences. Okay. If you are driving, okay, 190 miles an hour on the freeway, you get pulled over, you're not going to blame the officer. You're going to tell the officer it's because of you. No, the rules are in place. My job is to supervise and to enforce the law. The consequences are yours. Okay. And that's what the kids need to understand. Okay. So, any questions so far or any comments? All right, cool. So in that case, okay, let's see. Let's see if we can use let's see a couple examples. Okay. How about if we use this? Okay, number one, let's go here. Okay, it's just to give you a couple examples. Sitting limits. Okay, we all have, I'm assuming the majority of us have driver's license. If that is the case, when you went to get your driver's license for the very first time, there was a booklet. You guys remember that? And you were supposed to read the booklet, okay? And you're supposed to memorize that the best you could, okay? Pass the test. Once you pass the test, okay, you get your driver's license, okay? So there are a set of expectations, rules, norms that are listed on that booklet. Am I right? So who supervises us when we go out on the streets? Okay, the officers. Do we know where the officer is at? We do not. Okay, we do not. We do not know where the officers are, but we know they are somewhere in the cloud. Okay, they are officers somewhere in the cloud. Okay, and then their job is to obviously enforce the law. If you are driving, do we all know what's the speed limit in the school zone when kids are walking by? It is 20 miles an hour. Am I right? But if let's just say, the Yolanda gets pulled over, and Yolanda say, "I'm sorry, officer, it was just 2 miles over. I was just 22 because I'm running late and my kid has a test. I'm sorry." The officer is going to say 20 miles. It's been established. That is the rule. That is the expectation. Okay. I'm sorry. It's just because I wake up late. 20 miles. Okay, that is being clear, that is being specific. Okay, and again, the officers are going to be there to enforce that. Consequences. What will be will be positive consequences when we follow the traffic rules? Obviously, less chances to get in an accident. What about money when it comes to money? Okay, we pay less in insurance and car insurance. Okay, we're safe. Our family is safe. People who's around us is safer. And the other way, negative consequences. Okay, we don't follow the rules of engagement. We don't follow the rules of the traffic rules. What's going to happen is we are going to get tickets, accidents, and no one is going to be safe around. Okay, so that is a basic principle that we can use, all of us, when we work with our kids. Okay. Um, are you guys ready for an exercise? Okay. So hopefully you guys can work with me on this. Can I ask you, and just give me a number, when is the best time to give your child a phone? Now, if you do not have any problem so far, it's because they don't have one of these. 13, someone said that they're 13. Whitney said never. When they're 30, huh? 16, okay. Whitney Rose says never. I know, huh? Again, uh, 12, excellent. Okay, great. 15, uh, okay. And now, when is the best time to give a child a cell phone? So I get that question a lot. There's another workshop that we teach, and it's all about cell phone and electronics and the consequences, and that comes almost in every single class. Okay. Now, again, if you do not have the problem, it's because you don't have a kiddo yet, or they don't have one of these yet. But the moment these two guys combine, okay, we're gonna have some issues. I can guarantee you that. That is if you supervise your kids. Okay. Here we go. The answer is okay. Number one. Okay. When is the best time? Okay. What age? 16, 12, 9. Number one, when you as a parent, you are willing to establish some rules, some guidelines, expectations. Okay. It's totally up to you, but I'm just going to give you a couple ones that I did with my kiddos. It's number one, you cannot block me. Okay. I am your dad. I paid the phone. I bought the phone. It says, just plain, okay. iPhone 16 Pro Max, $12.99 plus tax, and Apple Care $1,400. It's just money. It's not a big deal. Am I right, guys? But and it says German Ochoa. I pay for it. It's my cell phone. I'm going to assign it to you, but it's my cell phone. Let's go on T-Mobile. T-Mobile says, guess who pays for it? German Ochoa. It says 60 or 50.99 plus tax. I don't know. Okay. So it is my cell phone, but I'm going to assign it to you. Okay. Number one, you cannot block me. Okay. In case of an emergency, in case something happens to you, it is my job to make sure you're safe. Okay. You cannot download anything that it's maybe uh, any apps that I do not approve. Okay. Uh, and another thing is what I did with my kids is if you, when it's bedtime, you need to charge your phone in my room. That I promise I'm not going to answer any phone calls. That I swear I'm not going to text anybody. It's not going to work, guys. Let me tell you that. Okay. This is from someone who went through this with 3 guys. Okay. And nope, I go, the rule of engagement is you need to leave your phone whenever you go to bed. Actually, I'm not taking any time away from your cell phone because it's all yours. It's just there, okay? Charging. It's charging in my room. No big deal. Okay. Did I like that? No, but that was part of the agreement that we had before I give them the phone. Second, obviously we supervision. It comes supervision and supervision. It will be physically, okay? Make sure the kids leave their phone where they're supposed to. Make sure the kids are following the rules of engagement. I remember telling my boys, hey, listen, man, I don't have the time and the energy to be checking your phone every day, okay? However, if your grades start to drop, if you start to isolate yourself, if your behavior changes, if you don't want to come down for dinner, you just want to be in your room, you become more suspicious, okay? I can guarantee you the answer is going to be here. And that is when daddy's going to grab his magic key and I am going to open your phone and I'm going to see what's going on. That is supervision. And then after that, we're going to go into consequences, okay? What will be a positive consequences if your kids are following the rules, the expectations when it comes to electronics? What will be the positive consequences? Kids will be like, what do you mean positive consequences? Well, guess what? You get to use your phone the following day. You get to text your friends. You get to watch your favorite videos. If you have social media, if you have teenagers, you can get into your social media as long as you keep track, you stay within those boundaries. I'm just trying to keep you safe, okay? And if not, then it comes more supervision. That's when you need to sit down and talk to your kids. Uh, I'm gonna give you one last example. Okay. I remember my little one saying, "Dad, I'm going to a concert." Okay, midnight, just like Cinderella, you need to be back by midnight. Okay, so just like any other teenager, just start pushing their boundaries. Let's see how far I can go. Let's see how much I can get away with. Okay. And he came one evening, maybe 10 minutes after, the next week again, the following week, maybe 15. So finally, I sat down with him and, hey, David, we need to have a chat. So he sits down next to me and I go, what's up, Dad? Hey, I noticed you've been coming late from your concerts. And right away, he jumps into defensive mode. Dad, come on, it's only 10 minutes. Come on, please. Come on, Dad, don't do that. I go, chillax, man. Relax, bro. I'm not taking away. That's how I talk to our kids. So we're like very relaxed. Man, relax, dude. we're not taking away the car. Well, the keys. I don't take the car. I just take the keys away. I don't have to take the keys away from your car. Okay. You're not in trouble. So right away, he just like, oh, okay, cool. Okay, we're just chatting. Yeah. But listen, man, um, I just want you to know that I know that you are coming late. Okay. Because you've been coming late little by little. And think about this, David. If I don't do anything, if I don't put a stop on this is supervision, guys. The rule was midnight. The expectation was midnight, be home by midnight. If I don't put a stop on this, you're gonna start coming later and later and later. And next night, you're not even coming to sleep. Am I right? You just like, I guess that, yeah, that's what's gonna happen. It is my job, David, to supervise you. Also, I want you to understand that when you are out, I don't get to sleep well. Normally I'm waking up, make sure you are home, that you are safe. So I want you to understand that when you are out at midnight, that means I'll stay awake until midnight. Make sure that you're going to be safe. It is my job, and I'm doing this because I love you. Because no one else is going to take that responsibility. It's our job, and because we love you, we care about you. And then obviously he changes like, I know that. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'm coming late. So listen, David, you're okay, man. You're not in trouble at all. But if you keep doing this, then we're gonna cut that 30 minutes. Instead of coming at midnight, it's gonna be 11:30. No, 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 Dad, I promise, I'm sorry. And yeah, guess what happened a few months down the road? Take a guess. Yeah, he was late. But this is what happened. Things were a little bit different this time. He's texting me. It's about 5 minutes away. I'm watching TV downstairs with my wife, and I'm like, hey, it's 5 minutes before midnight. David's not here. And I saw his location. He's probably 20 minutes away. And I get a text right away, 5 minutes before midnight. Hey, Dad, I'm sorry. I know I'm running late. I just, we were just chatting with our friends, and her parents, my friend and her parents. So I'm sorry. It's like, okay, no big deal. So he gets home. As soon as he gets home, he's like, Dad, I'm so sorry. I'm late. I have no excuse. I'm sorry. It's like, dude, relax, man. I just want you to know that I do appreciate when you're honest with me. Things happen. No big deal, man. You're not in trouble, okay, man? But thank you for considering that and thinking like, hey, I need to send a text to my dad. He was not upset. I was not upset, but things were a little bit different. And this time, he's like, hey, Dad, I'm sorry. I know I'm late. He took responsibility. I'm late. I have no excuse. We just cut off conversation with her parents. We were just having a good time chatting. They went on vacation all together. Like, okay, cool, no big deal, man. But again, there are expectations, and he knows. And another tip: if you have any kids, if you start implementing uh, the GMC, okay, the sooner you start, the easier it'll get. Even though if you have adult kids, I do, okay. When my boys, and I'm gonna finish with this, with my boys, a quick example, quick expectations when my boys come home from deployments from overseas. Normally, um, I remember my son after being away from in Europe for a year, about a year, he gets home and I'm like, hey Sam, listen. So there's a couple things that I want to go over with you. Yes, Dad. Number one, we don't do laundry after 9 p.m. And he's like, okay, Dad, why? Because laundry is loud. Like, oh, mom goes to sleep very early. She needs to get up super early. So we all hear the belt or the pair of shoes in the dryer, boom, boom, cling, cling. We all need to go to sleep early. I get up very early, but mom gets super early in the morning. So from after 9 p.m., we don't do any laundry. That is the expectation. Am I clear? Yeah. Am I specific? Yeah. So I didn't say, Sam, no laundry late at night. What's late for him? Probably, I don't know, 10, 11 p.m. But I was like, 9 p.m., no laundry after that, okay? I would like the house to be quiet. Okay, Dad, and this is an adult kid, okay? It feels kind of nice to give orders to a sergeant, okay? So, like, we don't do that, okay, Sam? Okay, it's like, okay, Dad, I totally understand. So, again, the rules can change, okay? The expectations might change, the kids change, but they need the structure. Okay, they need the structure, and when you start really young, okay, it'll be easier for them to follow into those expectations as they change as they get older. Okay. Uh, any questions?
I did want to read a couple of things just in the chat of different comments. I will say this has been super helpful for me because I'm in that stage where we're going from like young kids to older kids, but realizing like I still have all that supervision, that guidance is there. It looks a little different, but it's
Yeah,
still like I still have a role in still a parent, you know?
yeah.
It's a yeah, it's funny because you have to give control up in certain areas, but some areas you still need to kind of feel that supervision. So, okay, so some of the comments just to make sure we have these. Krista said about apps and regarding the phone, she said, we approve all apps, regulate the times on the phone, and have phone checks whenever we decide. They have to turn into our charging station at night. And then Jennifer said, no electronics in the bedrooms, only communal areas. And she also said, if her kids are staying out later than she wants to go to bed, she sets an alarm for their curfew time. They have to be home in time to turn off the alarm, or it wakes her up,
Hmm.
or they'll suffer a pretty strict consequence unless they've called her.
Hmm.
I think that's a great way to, it's like both, it has that she's said it's a matter of respect and accountability. I really
Yeah,
love that. Thank you for sharing that, Jennifer.
yeah, yeah. And
Mhm.
again, I mean, from a father to you guys, I'm assuming all of you guys are parents or have kiddos under your care, okay? Just try to apply this. I did apply this. I still apply, and it does work. Okay, set the guidelines. Make sure they're clear. Make sure you are clear and you're specific, okay? Make sure you're supervised because that way you can enforce those guidelines. And number three, you need to be willing to establish those consequences. Remember, how old does my little one needs to be in order to get a cell phone? When you are willing to establish some rules, when you're willing to supervise, and you're willing to establish consequences. And then you are you have green light to give a cell phone to your kiddos, okay? I do encourage you. We do have guiding good choices online. We do have it also in person. I do encourage you to go to our website where all the information you guys can go into the prevention department, youth services prevention department, and that's where a list of the different programs are. Not only this, but we do have other programs there. Some of those are just for uh, teenagers and little ones as well. Okay. But we do have a bunch of different programs online. Many of them are online and many are in person as well. So I don't know about you guys, but if I would have this when I was a young father, it would have saved me a lot of headaches. Okay. No one is perfect. Okay, I get that. I am not. No one is perfect. When the perfect parent is not, it does not exist. Otherwise, you guys will not be here. We all want to make you all want the best. Okay, uh, but again, okay, I once we give you these tools, okay, help us with our kiddos. Okay,
Mm, thank
thank you for
you.
having me.
We do have one more question
Yep.
from Krista. She asked, what is your opinion on setting expectations for a child with ADHD and a child that's more high performing, more of a high performing?
Yes, be consistent. Okay, even though be flexible. Obviously, okay, there is a condition in between. Okay, be flexible, but they do know consistency. Think about the schools. Okay, think about the schools. Okay, our schools where our kids go, they are set of expectations and regulations. That is to keep structure in the house. Same thing. We want to keep that structure. Can we be flexible? I do believe you need to be flexible, okay, and unique. Maybe there are things they it helps you. Maybe there are other things. This is not going to work for him. But be flexible, but still try to apply the structure, the guidelines. It's very important they know their guidelines, okay? Supervision, you don't get out of that one, okay? That is your job. So supervision and consequences, okay, baby, we don't have to be so strict with that. Again, every kiddo, I don't know your kiddo, but every kiddo is different. Every kiddo, it's unique in its way.
Thank you. Well, thank you, everybody. And thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. This is very valuable. And we appreciate you joining us so much. Have a great day.